Hey. Okay, today I'm trying an experiment. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I found a relatively quiet place in an airport, but it's still an airport, and there's a lot going on. Um, and there could be Wi-Fi issues. I have no idea. I've never done this before, but it is Friday. I figured I'd pop on for a surprise little mocktail hour. It's not going to be an hour. Um, it's probably going to be about 10 minutes because my gate keeps changing and I might need to go run and go catch it somewhere else. But I wanted to talk about honoring yourself. I have a lot of inspiration right now. I am coming off a 3 day advocacy training in Washington, D.C., where I've been with the National Coalition for Cancer Survivors, working um, to, first of all, learn more about how to advocate for survivorship, which actually begins at the time of diagnosis all the way to um, through the rest of your life, really. And also actually going and speaking with people in government, in the House of Representatives and the Senate, and speaking particularly, I'm from Florida, so speaking particularly to people that represent Florida. And it's been a huge learning experience. Uh, yeah. So I want to talk about honoring yourself because this is a topic that, yes, it relates to a decision to cut down or quit drinking, but it also relates to basically like all of life. And sometimes people are scared to honor themselves, or they're not listening to themselves even. So that's really the first step, is listening to yourself. And so I'll just give you an example. So this weekend, I had um, a moment where I realized I was like overstimulated and I felt anxious. And I was sitting with a group of women that were all Floridians. We were actually on break, we are having lunch. And the reason I was overstimulated and anxious, like I was listening to myself, so I knew why. It was a combination of the subject matter that we've been talking about cancer for like hours, which a little bit of a can be a little bit of a trigger for anxiety for me, and then also um, just having been in a social situation um, of this, especially of this intensity for a number of hours, and I was tired. I'm an introvert, and I end up feeling really drained when I'm around a lot of people, or even in a small group of people, and engaging with them for a long time. I just feel super, super drained because I need to be by myself to recharge. That's how I am. That's just me. So I recognized it because I actually was listening to myself. So we're sitting there eating lunch, and in my head, I heard, I wish I was alone. I wish I could just be alone for like 10 minutes. I wish I was back in my hotel room for like 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. I was like, and I heard myself and I was like, I honored that. Like I gave space for that. I recognized that I was feeling that. I understood why I was feeling it. Um, and the nice thing about women though is they tend to talk. And so what I did is I just got quiet. I realized what I needed was to just get quiet, like within myself. I created that like quiet space within myself. All the while I'm sitting there eating lunch, I'm just quiet, and they're talking, and I think sometimes, especially women, like feel like they're going to be rude or something, or they're going to offend somebody if they don't like echo what the other people are doing at the table or in the group. And I allowed myself to just be where I was at without trying to be like them. I let myself just be quiet. And so I encourage you to experiment with really listening to what you need and giving yourself an opportunity to have that in one way or the other. And you know what? The crazy thing is, like, after I spent that time being quiet, I ended up feeling recharged, and that anxiety feeling passed, the overwhelm passed, and I ended up having a great rest of the afternoon. And after that, it was me and one other woman too. So I do better when I'm one too. It's just a little less overwhelming for me, but yeah. So you got to get to know yourself, and it doesn't mean that you're always gonna. You got to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You don't have to; they're gonna come up. So, but you know, it's kind of loud in here, so I don't know if this is working at all. That's why this is an experiment. I do have my noise canceling thing on, so I'm hoping it's canceling the noise around. Be a very good experiment. Um, and the other story I was going to tell to give an example of how to honor yourself was that evening. That was yesterday evening. I was in Washington, D.C. I decided to turn on the debate at like 9, President Biden and former President Donald Trump. And I had the TV on for about 20 minutes. I listened to about 20 minutes of it. I kept having to turn the volume down because it was just hurting my ears. Not saying anything about anybody or any side or whatever. I'm not really gonna. I don't really get into the antagonistic politics thing. I don't. I'm not into that. But I just. I'll just say I didn't feel good. Like it didn't make me feel good. I felt weird. I was like, this is, I mean, it just, I honored what I was feeling. I was like, this is not making me feel good to have this come into my consciousness. Something might not be compatible with your state of consciousness. And in my case, this is not compatible with my state of consciousness. And it was not helping me relax. And it was just giving me an unsettled feeling. And I felt like I was watching like trash TV or something. Like it was not, it was not, it wasn't good for me. So I turned off the TV. I'm so glad I did. I still had a nightmare. Like it still got in. But anyway, so honor yourself. You don't have to do what other people are doing. I did the same thing when I decided to quit drinking. Not everybody was happy that I decided to quit drinking. Some people were disappointed. Um, but I had to listen to myself and my body at what it was saying to me. And I recognized and I heard that what it wanted was for me to stop drinking. And so I just encourage you, wherever you're at in your journey, in your life, find a way to listen to yourself and isolate, pick out the voices in your mind that aren't yours. Like from the time we're born, we're taking on other people's stuff. We hear what they say, it becomes part of our mind. And even so, grown adults might have like their parents' voice, something their parents said to them when they were like 5, might still replay in their head. Um, and, you know, it, part of growth and part of awareness and part of like finding some freedom and space from this is recognizing the voices in your head that are not yours and letting them go. And if you can't let them go, just recognize they're not yours. That might in and of itself give you some space. So yeah, and so some ways you can listen, practice finding your own voice might be to practice some stillness, find a quiet place, and close your eyes. Or maybe your method is more like journaling. Maybe get out some paper and free write and see what comes out. You could try different things, but in any case, I hope you guys have a great night. I'm gonna tune out. Um, I don't know if tune out's the right word. I'm gonna turn off now. I'm gonna head out because I'm gonna go make sure my plane's still coming and I'm in the right area. If I'm not, I'm gonna go get there because I really want to go home. I hope you guys have a great night. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Be happy. Be healthy. Bye.